Okay, I have muted everybody. If you could just put a message in the chat box, just for me to, just to confirm that you can still hear me. Perfect. Okay. So now, welcome to this lab. Like I said before, this is just a evaluation on how to deploy 2012 SCCM release 2. We are not using the best configuration. We are going to install this on a 2008 server with SQL 2008, and this server is also going to be acting as a domain controller. The prerequisites is also .NET framework, and IS has been already installed on this domain controller, which we will be using as for the SCCM. In the real production environment, obviously we will install this on a member server, and we'll also be installing the SQL either on the E drive or on the instance could be on a separate member SQL server. Like I mentioned, we're just going to use two VMs. This is the workstation called Client 1. As if I just show you the task manager, as you can see, we do not have anything running as at the moment. Nothing has been installed, and just have a quick look just to show you that there is nothing. It's just a plain vanilla box. Okay, so if we go straight back onto the primary site server, so the main objective is to show you how to install the SCCM 2012. We're going to first start by we're going to prepare the Active Directory for use for the use of Configuration Manager 2012. We'll use the utility provided by the Configuration Manager to extend the Active Directory schema for publishing data. We'll also grant rights to the Configuration Manager site server to allow it to publish site data to Active Directory, and finally we'll create a few Active Directory sites that will be added to the Configuration Manager boundary for client management. So first of all, before I start, I just need to point out that I have already extracted the Configuration Manager software onto the C drive, and also we have downloaded the prerequisites onto the C drive also here. All right. Okay, so first let's start by extending the schema. If we do that, just go, and if we run this utility, so now that we've run this utility, we now need all we need to do now is just to confirm that the software that it has completed successfully. And to do this, you just go onto the C drive and you can launch. So if I just extend this for you so that you can see, zoom in, so that's it there, just to show you that it has been successfully extended. Okay, so now that we've now done that, the next thing that we'll do is to add the system management directory, container, and to add the correct rights, this primary site rights, to have access to publish to that container. So let me just do that. Yes, take default. So if we just expand this, now under systems, if we create a container, we're going to create a new object called on object container, and the value will be called system manage. Now it's important that you make sure that you do not make any typo error. System management. Okay. So there you go. So if we're gonna modify the security properties here and add the object types for this is the computer, so that we can see the computer. And if we just type in primary, should be able to find it, primary 1. And what we want to do is want to give it full control, and also to also we want to make sure that it's not only the object but also descendant objects. Click OK. Click OK, and come out of here. So now we have successfully extended the schema. We have granted the configuration manager rights to the part in Active Directory, the system management container, to publish information. So now that we've pretty much covered that, the next thing that we need to do is just basically install the software. So let's do that. So if we just run the splash, sometimes this can take a while. Let's just wait. I've done it twice now, so it's gonna come up with an error. Just ignore that. Okay, that's one. Okay, excellent. Alright, so it didn't come up with the error. So now, just before the begin, you can read this for your information. Just click next. Click next. Come on, wake up. Yeah, that's the other one that I said that I clicked too many times, so I just get rid of that. So we want the evaluation. We're doing the evaluation edition of this product. Click next. Obviously accept the license. Click next. During the installation, the configuration manager is going to install some other Microsoft software, so we just need to accept their license. Like I said, I've already downloaded the prerequisite files that are needed for this installation, so I'm just going to go to that location. It was on the C drive. Yeah. Click next. So now we just wait for it to verify and the downloaded prerequisite components. Okay, I'm just having a look at the email, the chats, and there's one of the questions is, how do you download the prerequisite software? So I'm going to show you that. Basically, in the configuration manager, Microsoft have added an app that you can use to download that. Let's see, where is that? I think it's 64. for setup. There you go, setup download. So if I just double click that, and then you can download to any place, of browse and download to that folder, to any folder of your likings. Okay. So let me just have a look at the quick look in here. Okay, I've got there's a comment about running the utility for the schema. How can we run it? And you will need the an account that has schema rights, and if you want to have more details on what that schema actually is updating, I can just quickly show you that. So let me just quickly show you that. Let me see if I can find that. There you go. So let me open this and show you the attributes that are gonna be open. Let's see, open. Can I open this? Let me see. You know what? No. Let's see. I should be able to open it with Notepad one time. Yeah, okay, let's open it with this Notepad. Okay, so there you go. So this is the let me just zoom in so that you can see that. So that's the schema extension LDEF file for Microsoft Active Directory. Okay. If I just scroll down, I can just quickly show you. So these are the attributes that will be added. So okay, I'm not going to go through all that, but that's basically the information that you need to show them. Okay. Okay, let me just have another quick look while this is installing on. Okay, another question here. Okay, yeah, there's a question here. Is there any other way of adding the rights? Does it have to be to the container? Well, to be honest, you could give the configuration manager rights to all. Let me see. You can give the configuration manager rights to all of this container, because that's the only way it's gonna. That's the only path where it's gonna install. It's gonna publish information to. But I would not recommend that. I would rather create the system system management folder and give it rights to that folder than giving it rights to everything on the systems. Okay. Now we're ready to install. We're ready to continue. Basically, what we need to do now is to consider. We need to consider whether the other languages that are going to be installed. Some companies are going to use multi-language. In our case, we're just going to use English, and the same is also for the client language. So here it's important that you make sure you've decided what site code, because once you create a site code, it cannot be changed. So let's use that, and also the site name cannot be changed. So let's. So we're gonna take the defaults. There is I'm gonna take the default. In this case, we're going for a standalone. We're gonna set this as a standalone primary site server, and once we accept that, it prompts us to let us know that we can expand this site into a hierarchy at a later time by installing a CAS, a central administration site. Click yes. Take the default. Previously we had enabled the service broker port 4055 or 4022 on the firewall. Yeah. Click next. Take the default. Okay, so because we're doing this in a LAN, and we'll be using different site servers for different roles, it's best to configure the communication method on each site role rather than setting it up for HTTPS for all communications from the clients. Just take the default, and we're going to say that we do not want to join the program at this time. Have a quick look at the information. Yep, that's all correct. Click next, and let's wait for the prerequisite check. It's going to come up with some errors because we're using VMs, and I'm going to show you why, but we're going to go straight ahead and do the installation anyway. So as you can see, we can install. It hasn't failed. We can begin the installation, but it has already. It shows us that there's some warnings, and if you highlight each one, it gives you more information on what the warning is about. This is about the minimum size for the SQL has not been reserved. I'm going to show you that where you can configure this on SQL, but let's just start straight away and not waste time. But in the real environment, if I just do a search for SQL and click on the studio, so if I just log into if I just go to the properties and show you on the memory, this is where you can set the minimum and maximum memory required for the server memory option. So that's pretty much it. Now we're gonna, while we wait for this to install, let me have a quick look at the chat. Okay, yeah, there's a quick mention about an error that does prop up when installing SQL. I had that problem also. It's regarding during the installation of SQL, if you use any other language other than United States, it does not, the server collation does not default to SQL Latin 1 General CPI 1 CIAS. It's normally something like Latin 1. All you need to do is to change that option during the installation of SQL. I've had that problem, and I had to get support from Microsoft Premier to resolve that issue. Okay, so that pretty much covers that. Now we're gonna while we wait instead of us just sitting down watching the installation of this software, we can use this opportunity to to set up some Active Directory sites, which will be integrated to the configuration manager as part of the boundaries. So we're gonna make up some dummy active sites. So let's do that now while this is installing. So if we go to administrative tools and go to, let's create some sites. Let's call this non-config site. Let's call that. Actually, let's see if I can. Let's see if I can just copy this so that I can use that as a template. And let's set up some more subnet sites. Probably let's call this Singapore. Call this one Singapore. And let's create another one for, say, we'll call this Dubai. I've actually forgotten what the acronym, I think is DXB. And let's create one for the US. So let's create another one. The site, new sites for the US. Let's call it. Let's call that. Say New York City. New York City. New York City. Okay. Actually, you know what? I'm going to delete this one. Let's delete that one. Yeah. And let's rename this. Let's rename this to London. So the server is there. Sounds good. Let's create some subnets. And what subnet we're gonna call this one? We're gonna call this 192.168.3.0 subnet mask 24. And then copy that. I'm just going to copy that. And let's give that to the London one. So that we don't need to move. The primary site. So create some more subnets. Subnet. Let's call this one 4. For Dubai. And another one. last but not the least, for Singapore. So we have now created some just dummy subnet. We've created some dummy AD sites. This is just going to be used to illustrate how you can use AD sites to create boundaries in the configuration manager. So I'm assuming that this is all correct, and that's S3. I'm assuming that hopefully this should be okay and we'll be ready to go. Okay, so let's see how far this is going to take. So it's still running. What else could we do? Actually, what we could do is we can use this opportunity this time to create the account which is going to be required to install the configuration manager client via the client push. This will need an account, a user account created in the domain that has domain admin rights. So let's do that while we wait. So users, let's create a new user. And what should we call it? We're gonna call it say Ejike client push. That's a bit logical, so let's copy that. So that let's give it a password. You know what? I'll just give this simple password. Not to be done in real life, but this is just a so click finish, and actually let's add it to add this to the domain admin. Okay, so we have successfully created the AD sites, which is going to be used for boundary configuration. We have created the account that is going to be used to push the client software onto domain-based computers, and there isn't anything much that we can do now. I'm just gonna have a quick look at the email, the chat room, see if there's anything there. Okay, so there is nothing there at the moment. This is going to take about maybe 20 more minutes. I'm going to pause the video and we can continue when it's completed. So when it's completed, what we're going to do is we're going to complete the configuration, do some discovery, boundary discoveries, find some computers using the newly installed configuration manager, and we're also going to do some reporting if possible. So I'll be back. Now we have seen that the core setup has now completed. Let's continue and just make sure everything shows that it's been created and installed properly. So let's click close and exit here, and now launch the console. Excellent. Now, as you can see, once you log into the console, the first thing, it takes you to the assets and compliance workspace, where you can set up collections and users and devices. The second one down is the software library, where you can do application management, packages and stuff like that, and you can also do the software updates and operating systems. That's where you get all the notes for that. The monitoring is where you can actually monitor all types of alerts, queries, deployments. All that can be done from the monitoring workspace. But where we're going to be working at the moment is going to be in the administration workspace, where you can do distribution point setups, client settings, hierarchy configuration, and distribution setting up boundaries and stuff like that. So let's first start by going straight to clicking on the hierarchy and clicking on the different types of methods that are available for us. So the different types of methods. So as you can see, they're all disabled except for the heartbeat discovery. This basically rediscovers information that has already been enabled, and gets rid of older information. So that's already set. That's the only thing that will be enabled. So we're going to start with the forest discovery. Just right click and click on properties, and all you need to do is to enable the Active Directory for forest discovery. I'll advise you to tick automatically create Active Directory site boundaries when they are discovered. The reason why we're doing this in this demo, obviously, is because we've pre-created the Active Directory sites. Also, you could do the same for IP boundaries. So click apply. Yeah, we want it to run as soon as possible. Click OK and click OK. So so we've now created the we're now going to wait for the boundaries to pop up, and then after the boundaries are available, we'll be able to set up some boundary groups. But we're going to come back to here. Let me just quickly show you on the assets and compliance that on the devices, as you can see, there is very minimum information that is available there. This is the only information that has been found as per, and these are the defaults that come built in. But as you can see on the devices, these are the only machines that have been found. So let's go back to the administration. Sorry for jumping back and forth, but the only reason why, I'll show you why I pointed that out to you. So if we go back to boundaries, as you can see, it has found the boundaries, the site boundaries that we have created. We can now use this opportunity we can now set up the boundary groups. And to set the boundary groups, just right click or click on the create boundary groups. Now we're gonna name them according to what groups that we want to set up. For instance, we're gonna in this for this demo, we're gonna set up two groups. One is going to be the site assignment group. So we call it this. We're going to call this site assignment. So we're going to call that. You can put a description here. This group is used to assign the site code. Okay, and the following you can, and then for here, so we're going to choose what boundaries are going to be used. In this case, we're going to choose all of them, because we want all of them to have to be using that site. And on the reference, we will just point out here, use this boundary group for the site assignment. So that's what this boundary group site is for. We're not going to use the content location. We're going to use this in the next group that we're going to set up. So we click apply and click OK. So that's the site assignment group set up. Now we can create another group. So just click on create group. Oh, come on, and we're gonna call this EMEA and content. Let's call this content group. No, just content EMEA content DP. So you can put a brief description. This group defines the local content location for all clients in EMEA. EMEA could mean Europe, Middle East, and Africa, something like that, or you can put anything that you want. Doesn't matter. So for this boundary, what we're going to use, we're going to just use the London one, because that's the only one that we want. All the rest don't apply. And on the reference, we are going to, instead of use this boundary for site assignment, we are going to use the content location, and we're going to just add this primary domain controller, this primary site server, as the fast connection machine that we can use. DP that can be used for content information. You can add another one, or we can just go ahead and apply that and click OK. So as you can see, we have created two groups. One is the EMEA content DP, and one is used for site assignment for all client machines. So that concludes setting up boundaries. The next important thing that we are going to do is to actually run a scan, do an Active Directory scan of system discovery. So if we just click on the properties of that, so for here we just click enable the Active Directory system discovery, but we need to show the LDAP on which we want to actually scan. In most cases we can just use the whole domain, but you can drill down and just use an LDAP for an LDAP path to say to a particular container, in this situation the computers. But in this case, I want to use the whole domain. I want to do the whole domain. Make sure recursive is enabled. Okay. Use. Now this, I think we should be okay with this, but let's just set. I'm just gonna set just to be on the safe. I don't really need to do this because you can use the computer account for this site. So yeah, I'm not gonna do. You do have the option to specify an account, but since this has this user computer account should have enough rights to do this. Yeah, this computer does have admin. Sorry for wasting your time. Yeah, this computer does have rights that we added anyway, so we don't need to do any modification here. So click OK and click. Yeah, you could change police schedules add attributes, and there are some other options like the last time a machine was a computer account was changed, or the last time the account was added was accessed. So we're just going to apply that. Click yes, click yes, click OK. Okay, so this might take a while. It might take a few minutes, but as soon as it's done, we should, under here, it's not yet there, we should be able to see the device popping up here. Let's just wait. Oh, there you go. So there are all the client machines that have been discovered in this domain. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is to configure the configuration push account, so that it can push information to these machines. So if I go back to the client settings, or is it client settings? No, it's sites configuration, sites, and on the settings we can set that. So we're going to enable this to do a site-wide client push installation, and we've put for both servers and workstation. And what account are we going to use? We are going to use the account that we have created. Sorry. And now I hope I remember the password. Okay. We could verify to make sure that it does have the correct access. Let's try that. Client 1. Let's go to the local admin share, test connection. Ooh, password not correct. Oh dear. What did I do? I knew I was gonna forget this password. Alright, let's do a test. Alright, let's try it. Maybe shift key. I have to go back and change that password just to make sure. Okay, let me just make sure that I change that password. Let's go back and change the password. That's a bit embarrassing. Try to make it too easy. Let's go back and let's make it. Let's make it. Okay. And let's change. Okay, lesson learned here: always use a secure, good password. Okay, so that's completed. We are going to come back here and add a fallback status here, but before we do that, let us add the server site role. So if we go back onto this onto the domain, to the primary site server, and click add sites. So take the default, click next. Yeah, that's okay. We don't have a proxy, and we're going to choose reporting, and we are going to choose a 4 status point. So click next. Just change here, make this something simple. Click next. Verify, and here reporting, let's use the local administrator. Type in password. Okay, click OK. I hope I got the password right this time, because that will cause some errors if when we do the reporting. Click next, click next. Sorry. So we have we've added the fallback status point and the reporting service point. So now what we're going to do now is we are going to push the client onto one of these machines. So to do that, let's install client. Click next. Yeah, next. Click next. Okay. So let's jump onto the client machine, and there you go. You just saw it pop up. The CCM setup executable is starting to run. It's being pushed. That's a good sign. And let's just wait for it to install. This might take a few minutes. I might pause the video while we wait. It has just occurred to me that there might be something that I might have that I have forgotten to do, which is to add in the should have done this. Don't know why I didn't. Why I forgot. Sites. Yeah, I forgot to add. We forgot to use. So we forgot to add fs fallback status equals to okay. It's a shame I didn't put that in time, because the idea is that the client software uses that to push information to send information if it fails or if there's any error, and we might not get any information when we do the report. Sorry about that. I was just zooming through, but let's just wait. Okay, Okay, as you can see, the CCM setup has now changed to SCCM executable. So that means if we go to the control panel, we should, so there you go, that's the configuration manager software, client software installed, where you can do some actions, and these are all the components that have been enabled. So let's jump straight onto back onto the primary site server. So if we go back to assets and compliance, and if we go to device collections, and under all systems, if we say show members, there you go, it shows you the client one software has been shown as active. Okay, we can pretty much let me, before I get out of there, let me just, if you could have a look at the hardware and get more information about the machine. Oh, this is a VM, obviously, so you won't really have much. So but that's basically what we can get from here is that if we right click and click on the properties, it gives us more information. As you can see, it gives us more information about the system, as you can see. Okay, so we can pretty much end this lab here. If you have any questions, please let me know. Or if we could actually go a step further by me just showing you the reporting. I forgot to show you that. So if you just click on reports, and these are the different reports that are available that you can work on, and click on, oh sorry, on the top there. Yep, as you can see, we've got 491 items that you can choose from. And if for any reason, if you are having problems with, yeah, okay, I'm just looking at the message here. Okay, there was a complaint about reports not working when after they installed, that it didn't come up with all those reports. What you can do is, if you go to, you could run it directly from, I think it's in i386, I'm not sure. And yeah, yep, there you go, you can run the reports from here, the report viewer from here. Run that. Once you run this, it will obviously, please you need to close the console before you run this actually. And once it's done, then you can go back and relaunch the client, the configuration manager. So go back to reporting, and there you go. So let's say you want to do, let's think of something, compute. Let's say what can we choose here? Yeah, computers discovered recently, discovery. Let's try it. run this report. Just wait a few minutes. Just give it a few minutes. Okay, number of days, let's say 2 days, and collections, which collections? All system collections, and view report. And there you go. That's all the hardware that it has discovered. Okay, so that pretty much ends this session, and if you have any questions, please get back to me, and look forward to talking to you again. Thank you. Cheers. Bye.